Well, hello folks, how you guys doing? Well, I think it's time to get these tomato plants transplanted into the greenhouse. They're about a foot tall and man, they really took off this year. I would say, I think it's a good seed lot and maybe the lights here make a difference. I'm not sure, but either way, they really took off. So let's get these babies in the greenhouse. See you later, bye. Okay folks, what we're gonna do here is rotate this soil. So what we're going to do is just take this top surface here, and then we can get this soil is going to be the rotated. This is the stuff you want. And then that is how you rotate. You don't, this is not really a proper way to do this, but you know, it can work. It's more work, obviously. You got to rotate your soil, but it can work. So this is one method of rotating your soil. Or you take the plants and you put them in a different bed and you wait 3 years and you can put them back in here. So this is one of your solutions. See you later. Bye. What we got is we got some soil here from the greenhouse, about 8 inches down. I got it on the cement here, and I'm going to add some of this potting mix here, Kellogg's. It'll be about a little under a half, or maybe about a half, and then that'll be pretty much about it. And I'll just throw a couple scraps, some old Kellogg's that I had in last year. So, and then we're gonna put it in a pot, just like this. Now this pot is just slightly smaller than I'd like, but it'll work. I think it's gonna be pretty good size. I got these at Timo for $22 for 10 of them. And they gave me actually 11. So, it's a good deal, good quality. It's got some drain holes in it, as you can see. So yeah, let's get started in doing this. I'll show you how we mix this together. Pour some of this Kellogg's in here. I'm shooting for maybe a third to the topsoil. Get a nice mix on there. You want a nice big green soil. That's better. Not too shabby. And press it. I like it. Makes a little more than that. Add a little fertile. 10, 10, 10. 10, 10, 10. Yeah. Tomato plants are no-brainer plants. The only thing you got to worry about is end rot, blossom end rot. That's the biggest one. I guess there's always something, but typically they're pretty good. And that is it, folks. We're gonna start filling up these containers. And that's it, folks. There you have it. All 11 plus 2 bonus rounds on the right. So anyways, there you have it. We got about 14 containers, and we're gonna get these guys in. We're gonna plant the tomato plants next. I just want to show you how deep I really did go with the soil to get new soil, as you call it, or rotated soil. I would definitely dig, you know. So there you go. You got about, I'm down at least 2 feet down there, maybe 18 inches. So I went way down there, and it's pretty good soil, really. It's not clay too much, a little sandy, but on top it's very sandy. And I told you about sand, so looking at sand, it does not hold nutrients. As you can see, that pot right there is all pure sand, and they're growing, but they're just not holding nutrients. Now look at this guy right here. Now that are radishes, and they are ready to be picked. So anyways, that's just what sand is good for trees and stuff, fruit, but for, you know, if you try to do trees and like compost and stuff and maybe wood chips, it'll deplete that plant eventually. So anyways, that's a long story. There's a lot of things that go into play. The indeterminate keep growing all year long, whereas the determinate, they turn into a bush and they stop growing, which they do produce more in a way, but they get so bushy they kind of take over everything. But if you can get this to a vine, then it'll be easier to manage, hopefully. Every year I say that, but they get out of control. But anyway, let's get started here. So I watered these plants just in a pot here, so the ground would retain itself in it. So we'll dig a hole in here. Get this guy in there. And you can see the roots. I'll show you what the roots look like. Oh, look at those roots. They're looking really good. I like it. So everybody, you've heard where people bury it down to say here. And that's a good idea, because it'll form roots right off of that. Everybody's doing that now. Get down there a little more. There. So they will press it down good, and one down. 10 more to go. So yeah, then this next one, these next ones here are Gardener. And this is my new, I had to find this one on Amazon. I couldn't find it at the local stores. Let's get this guy, and you'll bury him a little more too. Yeah, these pots are probably going to be slightly small, but we're just going to have to deal with it. Deal with it. But the roots look great. So what is it? It's the 13th right now. And, you know, it's going to take basically 2 weeks for these plants to adjust to the outside. So I'd say by May 1st, we should be rocking and rolling, you know, with some growth. Good growth. Whoops, got the wrong one here. Rocking and rolling. So these are climbers, and I'm hoping to get, I want to be able to do a lot of canning, because I like the tomato sauce if I make it myself and I put it in my chili. It's way better than in a can at the store. I don't know what it is, but it's just outstanding. So get this guy in there. So we may have to add soil, and what we're going to do to add to these pots. Now I have no real organic matter in here or compost, but what I'm going to do is put compost right on top of the surface. And then when we water it, it'll, you know, seep nutrients right down into the roots. Whereas if you got it down at the pot, down lower, it may wash down more, you know, and you may not get to your roots. So the roots are only going to be about that deep. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, these pots are pretty small. But anyways, that's that. And then I got myself a tomatillo. These guys are fun to grow. They just get loaded with produce. They like hot weather. They like the heat. Oh, they're a Mexican plant, right? So. Get this guy out of here. This I didn't grow. I bought this at a nursery. You know, you're always going to have to go to the nursery to pick up some plants just because, you know, you can't, you can't do it all, right? So, but there we go. We got our tomatillo. I'll plant the rest of these plants, and then we'll get them all set up in the greenhouse. So, folks, when I was talking to you about no compost, well, I'm going to use this Vigoro here. It's just it's a potting mix, all-purpose potting mix, but I'm just going to put this potting mix on the very top. Whoops. We're just going to drizzle it right on the top here. And that'll give some nice nutrients. This was the second best growing potting mix. Besides, Miracle Grow is number one, and then Vigoro was second. So we'll just put some of this in the top of this top layer. And then when we water, the nutrients will start to filter into the roots. Adios, amigos. By the way, did I tell you my favorite word is bullshit? That's bullshit. See you later. It's my grandpa's favorite word back then. Bullshit. Bullshit. Folks, last plant for the day. Then we'll take it easy. Show you these roots. They're really great. See how I do the 2 cups setup? Look at this long root right here. So I got the basin, right, that holds it, and then you got a hole in the bottom. That's what you want to do. Look at it. Look at these roots. Look at those roots. Look at those roots. Unbelievable. Okay, get in there, boy. The San Morenos look great. They real sturdy. And yeah, they look great. Really good. Look at that. Whew. I would say 6 weeks of growth. Put a topper on there. You can see there's tons of wood in this soil on the top. That's why I didn't want to put it in the bottom. But if you were planting like a tree in the house, that would rob your nitrates over time. So I would avoid that. If anything, just top dress it. And that's what I'm kind of doing here. I thought I'd show you a temporary, I keep these guys upright. A temporary fix for now. So you take a twig, find a twig somewhere. And you got yourself a clothespin. So you can put the clothespin and put it into that very far crotch there. You see it? And then your branch will go right in here. It'll be just for temporary. Keep them straight for now. Take it. And then there. Keeps it up straight. So there you have it. It's for temporary, and then we're going to run a string all the way from the ceiling all the way down to here, but we need them to get more beefy. So that's it. But this is just a temporary thing. I still might use this for the string technique. I got to see if it'll work or not. But these clothespins are always useful for something. All right, adios, amigos. Bye. So okay, folks, it's time to water the plants. The tomato plants. There they all are. What do you guys think? Rock on. Let's get to it. So we'll get these in a spot later once they get a little thicker and sturdier, get a little more beefy, and then we'll get them in their spots. It's supposed to be a dry week coming up, no rain, a lot of sun, so that's a good thing. You know, I never had good luck with peas. If you guys have, let me know. Let me know and describe, let me know and leave a comment on if there's a secret to growing peas, because I haven't had any luck with them. but the snails like them. Okay, folks, let's do a quick recap on everything that we did today. So I'll show you all the plants and where we're at as of today, April 13th. It's about 60 degrees today. That's about it. It's not going to get any higher than 60 all week, but it'll be growing nicely in here. So anyways, let's just check everything out. So we got all the tomato plants. So I'll tell you what we got here. We got San Moreno, and we got Early Girl. So the Early Girl should be the first to get me tomatoes. We got that Gardener in the back, or they're called a plum. So it's a new experimental plant. We'll see how that goes. And we got some super sweet. Right here's a super sweet. As you can see, it grows like crazy. And then yeah, that tomatillo. And I just wanted to go over the importance of grafting. So this plant, I did a cutting off of this. This cutting off of a grapevine, and it's just a cutting, no grafting. Look at the growth; it's very slow. See that? Now let's look at a grafted vine. Look at this, night and day. You can see the graft is right in there. But look at the growth. Look at the growth. Grafting is the key. You have to graft to promote strong plants. The seedless one over here, and this one's coming along really nicely. So you can see the shoots are coming. We're about 3 or 4 inches. In fact, here's some fruit right there. You can see that's going to be fruiting. So yeah, I got to do a little organization in here as well. And then here we got the, this is your Cabernet Sauvignon. Right there, Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm excited to see how this guy plays out. It will only ripen in this greenhouse, but in fact, if I'm gonna grow grapevines, I'm gonna have, that can't ripen, it'll have to be in the greenhouse. And then I'm gonna transplant some of these. These are Muscat of Norway. I'm gonna plant him on the road or close to the road. Hopefully the heat will ripen these more. I've also a Merlot. This is a Merlot. It's growing really nicely in here. So folks, there you have it. The magic greenhouse. Adios, amigos.